Welcome to all of you. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the scattering losses, under that linear scattering losses and nonlinear scattering losses. Before getting into the scattering losses, let us go through this problem. The input power of an optical fiber is 2 milliwatt, while the power measured at the output end is 2 microwatt. If the fiber attenuation is 0.5 dB per kilometer, calculate the length of the fiber. Note down the given parameters. Input power Pi is equal to 2 milliwatt. Output power P0 is 2 microwatt. Attenuation alpha in dB is given as 0.5 dB per kilometer. We need to identify the length of the fiber. The formula alpha in dB into L is equal to 10 log Pi divided by P0 to base 10. So we need to calculate the length. Therefore, the expression can be rewritten as L is equal to 1 divided by alpha in dB. So this alpha in dB has been cross multiplied to the right hand side. Therefore, it will become 1 divided by alpha in dB 10 log Pi divided by P0 to base 10. Now we know Pi, P0 as well as alpha in dB. Make a substitution to all of them. So we are going to get the total length as 60 kilometer. Let us start with the linear scattering losses. So linear scattering losses causes the transfer of some or all the optical power from one propagation mode to another propagation mode in a linear manner. So this process causes the attenuation. There are two types of linear scattering. First one, the Rayleigh scattering, and second one, the Mie scattering. Let us take upon the Rayleigh scattering. Rayleigh scattering is a dominant intrinsic loss mechanism in the low absorption window between the ultraviolet and the infrared absorption tails. So this results from the inhomogeneities of a random nature occurring on small scale compared to the wavelength of the light. And these inhomogeneities manifest themselves as refractive index fluctuations and arise from the density and the compositional variations which are frozen into the glass lattice while cooling. So the compositional variations can be reduced by improving the fabrication process, whereas the index fluctuations which has happened due to freezing of the density inhomogeneities, they are fundamental and they cannot be avoided. Rayleigh scattering for single component glass is given by gamma r is equal to 8 pi cube divided by 3 lambda to the power of 4 into n to the power of 8 p square beta c k tf, where gamma r is the Rayleigh scattering coefficient, lambda is optical fiber wavelength, n is the refractive index of the medium, p is the average photoelastic coefficient, beta c is the isothermal compressibility at a fictive temperature of Tf, and K is the Boltzmann constant. Now the Rayleigh scattering coefficient is also related to the transmission loss factor and is given by transmission loss factor is equal to exponential of minus gamma r into L, where L is going to be the length of the fiber and gamma r is the Rayleigh scattering coefficient. Now let us go through a problem related to it. The problem statement: silica has an estimated fictive temperature of 1400 Kelvin with an isothermal compressibility of 7 into 10 to the power of minus 11 meter square per Newton. The refractive index and photoelastic coefficient for silica are 1.46 and 0.286 respectively. Determine the theoretical attenuation in decibels per kilometer due to the fundamental Rayleigh scattering in silica at, at optical wavelengths of 0.63, 1.0 and 1.30 micrometer. Boltzmann constant is 1.381 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joules per Kelvin. Now let us note down the given parameters. Optical wavelength, three different wavelengths are being given, that is lambda is equal to 0.63 micrometer, then 1.0 micrometer and 1.30 micrometer. And we need to calculate the attenuation in decibels with respect to each of these lambda values. Then refractive index of the medium n is equal to 1.46, average photoelastic coefficient P is equal to 0.286, then isothermal compressibility, that is beta C, is equal to 7 into 10 to the power of minus 11 meter square per Newton. Fictive temperature Tf is 1400 Kelvin. Then Boltzmann constant K is 1.381 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joules per Kelvin. Now let us first calculate a generalized solution for a Rayleigh scattering coefficient, which is given by this formula. So all parameters are known, and except we are not considering lambda here, because there are three different values of lambda. For each of them we need to calculate. Therefore we retain the lambda as it is and we substitute for all other values. And by doing that, this is what we are going to get. So retaining the lambda as it is, so we are going to get the answer as 1.895 into 10 to the power of minus 28 divided by lambda square per meter. Now for each value of lambda, further we are going to make the calculation. Now at the first case, when lambda is equal to 0.63 micrometer. Now gamma r will be, so this part has already been calculated. Now we are substituting 0.63 micrometer. So 0.63 into 10 to the power of minus 6 to the power of 4. By solving this, we are going to get 1.199 into 10 to the power of minus 3 per meter. Then our aim is to calculate the attenuation. We need to come to this point. So getting to the second one, transmission loss factor for 1 kilometer is given by exponential of minus gamma r into L. So gamma r is a known factor, so that has been given, and the length is also a known factor. So by substituting this, we are going to get 0.301. Now the attenuation in decibels is given by 10 log 1 divided by the transmission loss per kilometer to the base 10. So this we have already calculated. So make a substitution of that, and attenuation is found to be 5.2 dB per kilometer. Now there are two more wavelength values for which we need to repeat the same procedure. Let us get into the second wavelength. So second wavelength is 1.0 micrometer. The same procedure is being repeated over here. So same formulas, same procedure is repeated, and in this case the final answer is going to be 0.8 dB per kilometer. One more wavelength value, that is 1.30 micrometer. Same procedure, and final attenuation is found to be 0.3 dB per kilometer. Now getting into the linear scattering, within that second one, the Mie scattering. So this Mie scattering is going to occur due to the non-perfect cylindrical structure of the waveguide. The imperfections in this core cladding interface, something like the irregularities in the core cladding interface, then core cladding refractive index difference, diameter fluctuations, strains and bubbles are responsible for scattering. And this can be solved by using these procedures. That is, remove the imperfection by improving the manufacturing process, then carefully controlled extrusion and coating of the fiber, then increasing the fiber guidance by increasing the refractive index between the core and the cladding. Coming to the nonlinear scattering losses. So it cannot be said that all wavelets are going to behave in a linear manner. So there are several non-linear effects present in the waveguide. In case of scattering in a nonlinear manner, it causes disproportionate attenuation at the higher power levels. So this nonlinear scattering causes the optical power from one mode to the same mode or to the another mode at a different frequency. It critically depends on the optical power, and this will become more significant when the optical power crosses the threshold power levels. So there are two types of nonlinear scattering losses. First one, stimulated Brillouin scattering, also known as SBS, and stimulated Raman scattering, SRS. So let us start with the first one, stimulated Brillouin scattering. So this SBS can be regarded as the modulation of light through thermal molecular vibrations within the fiber. So these scattered light appears as the upper as well as the lower side bands, which are separated from the incident light by the modulation frequency. The incident photon in this scattering produces a photon of acoustic frequency as well as the scattering photon. So two photons are created. So this creates a frequency shift. And this frequency shift is always maximum in the backward direction and it is always zero in the forward direction. Therefore, the SBS is also a backward process. Threshold power PB for SBS is given by PB is equal to 4.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 d square lambda square alpha in dB into V watts, where d and lambda are the fiber core diameter and the operating wavelength respectively, and both of these two must be measured in terms of micrometers. Alpha in dB is the fiber attenuation in decibels per kilometer and V is the source bandwidth. So always measured in terms of gigahertz. Now under nonlinear scattering, the second one, stimulated Raman scattering, also known as SRS. So this stimulated Raman scattering is almost similar to that of the SPS, except that a high frequency optical photon is generated rather than the acoustic photon during the scattering process. And also in this case, the Raman scattering is going to occur both in forward as well as in backward directions. The threshold power for this is given by PR is equal to 5.9 into 10 to the power of minus 2 d square lambda alpha in dB watts, where d and lambda are the fiber core diameter and the operating wavelength respectively, both measured in micrometers. Alpha dB is the fiber attenuation in decibels per kilometer. Now let us go through a problem related to it. The problem statement: a long single mode optical fiber has an attenuation of 0.5 dB per kilometer when operating at a wavelength of 1.3 micrometer. the fiber core diameter is 6 micrometer and the laser source bandwidth is 600 megahertz. Compare the threshold optical powers of stimulated Brillouin and Raman scattering within the fiber at the wavelength specified. So we need to calculate the threshold optical powers for both of these two. Let us go through the solution. The given parameters, the attenuation, that is alpha in dB, that is 0.5 dB per kilometer. Wavelength is given, lambda is equal to 1.3 micrometer. Fiber core diameter D is equal to 6 micrometer. Then laser source bandwidth V is equal to 600 megahertz. And in the previously it has been told that this laser source bandwidth must be always in terms of gigahertz. Therefore, converting this megahertz into the gigahertz, we get 0.6 gigahertz. Now, let us first calculate the threshold optical power for SPS. It is given by PB is equal to 4.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 d square lambda square alpha in dB into B. Now, all these are known parameters, so make a substitution of all these things. We are going to get the answer 80.3 milliwatt. Now calculating for SRS, we get PR is equal to 5.9 into 10 to the power of minus 2 d square lambda alpha dB. By making the substitution, we get the solution as 1.38 watts. So try to note some of the parameters like the source bandwidth must be in terms of gigahertz. So that's the main factor. If we make direct substitution of 600 megahertz, the answer we are going to get as a wrong. So take care of these notations. Thanks for joining.